Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I practice in Nairobi under my own private practice called Nikki and Company Advocates. I've been practicing for the last 1.5 years, and welcome to the conversation. With me here today is...
Hi, my name is Noel Odiwuor, an advocate of the High Court. I run my own practice by the name Odiwuor and Associates Advocates. I have been in practice for 2 years now.
I am Otis, Otinye, Roba, all those names. But if you want to get my name on the advocate search engine, it's Otieno, Roberto, Opiyo. That means that I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Should be my 7th month in practice. Unlike them, mimi niko inaitwaje? Cotton picking.
Last born.
I'm employed. So yeah, I work at Alakonya and Associates Advocates. This is my 7th year in practice, and really happy to be in this conversation today.
Okay, thank you, Noel. Thank you, Otinye. So today we are going to talk about the contemporary issues that face the legal landscape in Kenya. And to start with, let's talk about what happened today. What was the Mandamano about? Why were we doing it today? And did we achieve our goals as the LSK today?
Well, I think one of the major reasons why we did our Mandamano today is that we as advocates of the High Court took an oath to protect the rule of law in this country. And this work was mainly led to by the comments made by the executive towards the judiciary. And most of us felt that the comments were intimidating the judiciary, making them lack their independence as an institution. So our work was to stand in solidarity with the judiciary and ensure that the executive gets our message that our role as advocates is to uphold the rule of law in this country.
I think, Otinye, you can just expound on what Noel has touched on, the role of the advocates in upholding the rule of law. Many people, including my mom today, was asking, mbona mnapenda kujipendekeza? You see, this is perhaps not your fight. You guys just practice. So perhaps talk about our role as advocates in upholding the rule of law and why such attacks are detrimental to our practice.
Okay. Well, for me, it stems from the fact that when I was taking my oath, I was before the Chief Justice. So other than anything else, I am an officer of the court for starters. So when the judiciary is under attack, it means that even me personally, they're coming for me. Sikujipendekeza. I am an officer of the court. I took an oath and say that I will stand with this constitution to my final breath. That's what drives me. That's what takes me everywhere. If the president is not going to do his work and wants to just lay blame on everyone, I mean, for the judiciary, he goes on and says that he knows there is so much corruption and all these things he will fix. He can't fix the judiciary. The judiciary has its own independent head who is at the top of it for all of us. And I think the point basically is that most people don't understand that before anything else, we are officers of the court. Without us being officers of the court, we can't do any of these things. And the act that establishes the LSK as well charges us with the mandate of standing for the rule of law. So other than protecting that constitution and defending it and standing with it to the last breath, we as advocates have to speak up. They will start coming for the judiciary. The next thing they will go for is the legislature, and you wouldn't even see it coming, but you would be the next person on the line. Someone has to stand and say it stops with us. If it stops with us, it means that we've protected this entirety of people that don't even have that voice of being officers of the court to get together and defend what they stand for. So we are not standing for ourselves. We're standing for the vulnerable. We're standing for everyone who believes in everything that is right. And a judiciary that is independent, it got this president into office, for crying out loud. He went there to be heard when his Nini was contested, and he praised it. Why then now he has other myriad of issues that he just wants to distract? If he has people that he thinks are corrupt, let him follow the laid down procedures. He can't come out here calling every other person corrupt. I mean, our judiciary needs to be independent. So in very few words, we are officers of the court. Sio kujipendekeza.
So we are obligated.
It's our role. We are obligated. to defend our office first of all.
And do you think the Maandamano has achieved its goal? Do you think we've sent the message out there? Do you think we're doing enough? Because many of the members of the LSK, the council, and also the aspirants have really come out strongly this week and condemned the attacks. They have said their pieces. We have done the Maandamano. Today we've talked a lot. We've been on Twitter castigating the president and the remarks. Has that done what it's supposed to do, or is there more we can do?
I feel like not just today, but right from when he made his utterances and it was made clear that we are going to have protests, even his tone changed. It moved from an entirety of corrupt judiciary or anything to just saying, we know them, we know you, we will come for you. So now that the tone has changed to the point of we know them, we will come for you, now follow the right channels. Don't attack the entirety of the judiciary. We are there. We will stand. We've sent a message. I mean, it's not every day you would converge that magnitude of advocates that were there. Basically, it was around 6,000 advocates. We are about 16,000 practicing. That means that it's about a third of us. We converged we were called, we converged. So for me, it has achieved. And if the president thinks that he's just going to attack every and anyone, let him try us. We can do this for a month.
We can continue.
And we did it peacefully. There was no chaos, there was no nothing. So we will just go around his office until he toes the line.
I think that's something I need to commend us. In all the Maandamano we've done, we've always been peaceful. So that's something good about it. Now I want to pick up where Otis has left. Let's talk about the separation of powers in this regime. This is not the first time. We feel like we've been under attack for the longest. I particularly feel like this council has outdid itself in terms of going to court and the vigorous litigation it has done. We've been fighting to defend ourselves for the longest and just defend the rule of law. Just comment on the separation of powers and the regime as it stands and the respect the executive or the presidency accords other arms of government.
Well, for starters, we need to give credit where due, and the current council has done enough within its ambit to ensure that when the rule of law is threatened, they go to court and challenge that, and I commend them highly for that. Well, we have to establish that we have an executive, we have the parliament, and then we have the judiciary. All of them are independent institutions that need to work separately in order to achieve our mandate as a country. But when we have a situation whereby the executive keeps on threatening the judiciary, we cannot have a country that is going to operate well. So the president needs to acknowledge that indeed the judiciary got him to power, and he needs to respect each and every decision that they make. Yes.
Yeah. And the president himself, his main issue with even the context of the attacks was the issue of corruption. Yeah, he said he said what he said. Let me not quote him, but his main issue was the issue of corruption. And we cannot talk about the contemporary issues that affect the legal landscape without talking about that issue itself of corruption. I think my question would be, do you think the JSC and the judiciary as we currently operate are really working to, and even the council, the bar and the bench as we are currently constructed, we're really working to resolve this issue of corruption, even an attempt to resolve it, or we've just accepted it to be a normalcy in our operations? I don't know who can take that.
Well, it's like taking me and throwing me into the deeps. I mean,
it's a hot seat.
It's a really hot one because you see, at the end of the day, my client doesn't want to know. I will be the devil's advocate, and then I will speak for what should be happening in my own world. Right? My client doesn't want to know that I have to wait for an order for 6-7 months. Right?
Yes.
I have to get a date in 6-7 months. So what do? make ways to get my date closer or even the closest. Imagine having a certificate. It's not hard as fast as it should be. But clients want satisfaction, right? So at the end of the day, there is ethics that we need to follow. But you see, it stems from who is the service provider. However, gets to the point where now things can't move unless you get to bear this cost, which now is the other thing that we need to also face. I support the president in fight against corruption in the judiciary. It should stop. Shouldn't be paying for orders. It should be on merit and the facts that my is the law on my client's side. I mean, so the fight is, if well meant, it can achieve much. But from where he is doing it from, blaming the entire institution, saying that he knows specific people, I mean, let him go for those specific people, right? He will not help just himself, but also us. Take them to JSC, not go after them wrongly.
How many cases has the current JSC has constituted, even when it comes to complaints made, perhaps? Or I feel like the JSC is very complacent. My question will be, since you're saying take them to JSC, and now this is us internally, as a legal society, judiciary, the bar plus the bench. What are we doing to resolve this thing of corruption internally before we get the attacks from the president? Before he says, I know corrupt judges, please come and do, and then us, we're coming and saying, okay, there's a procedure to it, but does that process and procedure work? And can we say it's effective, it's efficient? What can be done better?
2 words for me: kill facilitation. You've dealt with it.
Oh, it starts with us. I think what you're saying, it starts with us.
Kill facilitation.
So we stop blaming everyone, it starts with us.
I mean,
okay, I agree with you.
Everyone has a role.
I agree with you on that one.
Squarely on us, right?
I agree completely. Okay, it makes sense, because the way I was looking at, kill everywhere. Kill. It starts with me. If I don't pay, I'm not saying I pay. If I facilitated, if I don't pay a judge, if I don't pay a magistrate. But sometimes you're cornered by JOs. They corner you. They don't give you orders, and you have an Indian client there who cannot go to remand. They'll pee themselves there in Kibera. They don't want to go to remand, and JO amekwambia orders zitakuja Monday.
Yeah, the problem starts with us as lawyers. We're the ones who need to tackle this head on first, because we know of these judges, we know of these magistrates who ask for bribes, and the problem is that when we report them, you will be profiled. People are scared of being profiled. Like, you will go to that court and you won't have orders.
Exactly.
You won't have anything you want, because you just reported that this magistrate is seeking for bribe from me, or this judge wants this and this from me. So the problem starts with us as lawyers. If we indeed decided that we are going to report these guys, we're not going to take it anymore from them, and we report them, then
so we risk suffer the being profiled, we risk suffer not getting orders because of being profiled, and we all stand up.
We're scared of being profiled and being denied orders anytime we get before this JO.
Also, there's been this notion that if you come out strongly against a particular magistrate or a particular judge for corruption related concerns, and you make that report to the JSC, the bench will literally gang up against you. Like, there's a way they communicate.
This problem is full circle. Probably we should start with members of the JSC who are not complacent, right? Because reports are made to the JSC. If they get out, where did they get out from? Also, it would look to me like making us have a synergy with reports made by advocates at JSC with how they get to JSC, such that we protect ourselves from out here, boycott those judges that profile people, boycott those magistrates that profile people. We refuse to go to their courts, right?
We have to work as a...
Yes, and we also have follow-up mechanisms that stem from LSK. A report was made. How far has it gone to? is this person being profiled? Is anything okay? I mean, like, it's full circle. Everyone has a blame somewhere, right? But if we all start to speak the same language, I mean, you've made a report. Someone shouldn't be profiling you because you had a merited case that now they feel like, lazima unione kando. I don't say anyone honors anyone kando, but you get.
I got you.
Right.
And I'm looking at, for us to work in unison, we need a leader who will enable us to work in unison. And I've heard this before, and right now, especially with the elections and the candidates promising heaven, left, right, and center, everyone is talking, I'm going to fight corruption, I'm going to address these challenges that you guys go through in practice. Because at the end of the day, even when you look at most manifestos, we're looking for someone who will address the issues that I, as a practitioner, face in my day-to-day work. So what will you say we need to look out for in our candidates? And perhaps what kind of leader do we need to see or have who will be able to work to unite us, to work together to fight corruption and to fight the bullish behavior that we get from the bench, or the profiling, or just the consequences of standing up against these corrupt practices?
I mean, in my head, it's a leader who, first of all, can create spaces for conversations. Not just conversations on the bar, conversations on the bench, and conversations with the executive. If they create spaces for conversations, I mean, everyone gets comfortable. We can get to a point where now we go to them specifically and tell them, this is what is going wrong, this is what is going wrong. Please help us. So someone that listens again, right? Not someone, someone that is not for themselves. The leadership to me looks like you are serving the society now. Your self-interest aside, you've gained that entire experience. You know how corporates run. You've had that experience. So it's basically corporate management and creating spaces for conversations. And other than that, I'm looking at someone who is fierce. Fierce in a very kind way. It's not fierce that tuta mambo ni matatu. No, not that kind of fierce. But fierce in the sense of when she speaks, things happen. She speaks boldly. Sold myself, right?
You did. I'm like, okay.
Can we do that? Oh, that's okay. I mean, I have someone in mind, so that's why I'm describing and have. I have someone in mind. I have seen them from the start of my very little experience at the law society, right? So I've seen someone that knows how to even raise funds to make the society run. So someone that would be in good books with corporates, someone that would create spaces for conversations that we can have. And I mean, comfort would be the word, right? Not just me as a young advocate feels comfortable with her. If a senior is next to her, you will just see the comfort, right? Which then means that they can push to have our agenda listened to and achieved. And they have a proven track record. I mean, we've seen a chaotic society.
So you're saying,
Someone that has a proven track record. We've seen a chaotic society, right?
Yeah, we've seen
And
I forgot.
you forgot, right?
We've seen
Nothing new.
that.
I was a law student, but you know, back home, no one cares. You're a law student or anything. If they see a chaotic society, they'll be like,
It was all over the country. It was all over the
And
country.
it was all over the country.
Yeah.
Things were not moving. I mean, so when I got into the society, and so also a stable society. So I've seen both sides. I want a society that works.
I got what you're saying. Now, before I add something very crucial to Otinye's point, what do you think? I'm still stuck on the unison bit. And by the way, in this election, personally for me, I think I have a personal story with facilitation fees and just being bullied by the bench. I've been in practice for 1.5 years. Trust me, I have been bullied in court. I have my stories. There is one day I woke up and I said, we are drafting that letter to JSC because there is no way this is real. it's not, you see, and then they're like, nothing will be done. So for me, one of the things that are very close to my heart is the issue of corruption and just making it to normalcy. And it's actually the reason why I started practicing criminal law, because if you know, you know. I'll just say that. If you know, you know. You get. So now, again, what kind of leader can help us work in unison, can be able to help us achieve that goal, can be able to, we've seen a stable council, but I don't believe that we've actually progressed really in that area of corruption. I believe there's much more to be done. I want some aggressiveness, some no nonsense kind of attitude, in the sense that the kind of leader that is coming on. I think for me, and I was going to say this in your point before I gave you Noel, is someone who can be able to work with people. Exactly. You've said so many things, but I was just like, if you can't be able to work with people, then how will you unify 20,000 advocates to stand up against the thing that affects our day-to-day, practice? So I'm looking for someone who's able to work with people, someone who's can come out and say, leo tulisema leo tuna maandamano, and how many people turned up?
So many people.
Exactly. Someone who will come and say, today we're not going to go to court, or we're not doing attending court this week, and it's for our own benefit, because registry has been so complacent for so long. They're refusing to give us orders. EOs wanatusumbua, and if this is the action we have to take as a unified society, this is what we'll do. So I don't know, that's why I'm thinking, and I'm looking for that kind of a person. So I don't know if we're on the same page now, or where will you...
Well, for me, I'd be looking at a leader who's able to bridge the gap between the juniors and seniors. A leader who's going to unify all of us. A leader who can resonate with both the juniors and seniors. And just as I said before, that I really commend the current council for the stability they brought to this bar for the last 2 years. So we need someone who is going to continue that stability, who's going to progress it further, to ensure that we are a society that is really connected to each other. We are together. When we plan to do something, people come together. Like I remember the activities we've been having the last 1 month. You organize a sporting events, even seniors come, juniors come, you interact with seniors of 40 years in practice. Yes, you don't normally get to talk to them anywhere. In fact, they're always very busy, but we've had a situation whereby you invite them to events, they show up, they interact with junior advocates.
They're in the match today.
Yes, actually they're in the match today. We saw senior Stephen Kalonzo. We saw him there. He was in solidarity with us, marching with us. Yes, Mohammed was there. So we need a leader who's going to bridge that gap and bring unity to this profession, and continue with the stability that we've had for the last 2 years. Yes.
We've all acknowledged that there's more that can be done. And the next time, if we actually get a leader who can work with people, can bring us all together, can enable us to stand up against the normalcies, or what has been termed as the norm, to the point of we are calling this thing facilitation. Like, this is bribery, to be honest, but we're calling it facilitation.
Yes,
it's
convenience fee. Some call it convenience fee.
It's on invoices, my God. It's on fluids, and it's so normal. So we kind of know the leader we want for that. I'm just curious, by the way, since it's election season, who do you think should we give this presidency position, especially because of all the things we've said, working with people, able to bring people together, the respect. By the way, we've gotten stakeholders back to the council because of the stable. I read somewhere we got 50 million in donor funds, which is amazing. Yeah, so I'm just, I think we know what we want as members of the profession. So I don't know, who are you? Who are you guys rooting for in this election?
Well, for me, I think I've talked about stability so much in this conversation, so you might know where my conversation is heading to. So I've looked at all these leaders, and what I really want is someone who can push us to another level, someone who started their work, and we want to give them an opportunity to continue with this work that they've done. I feel like Faith Odhiambo has brought stability to this bar as a VP when she worked together with Theory in the previous council, and she deserves an opportunity to continue with what she has done. She single-handedly took part in organizing for the 50 million funding from the donors. Yeah, that is one of her achievements when she was the VP.
There's actually one of her people that are going against her who acknowledge that she's good with the corporate world.
Yes, she has done that, and I feel she needs that opportunity to work as the president of the Law Society of Kenya. The other thing is that I feel she's the only candidate who can help bridge that gap between the juniors and the seniors, because she resonates with each and every one of us. Maybe just some few people who don't resonate with her, just in difference on opinion or something. Yeah,
I think I can attest to Faith being very friendly and a person
Yes,
of the people. I cannot say a man of the people because she's a person of
Yes,
the people.
yes.
I can, from way back, this is not even just in her time as a council member, but as VP rather, but she's a person of the people. Yes.